So, last Sunday we talked about hope. I talked about hope. I hope you talked about hope a little bit. Um, the prophet Isaiah said that the Messiah, the one that would deliver them from all the political unrest and all of the outer oppression, would be called Wonderful Counselor, Prince of Peace. And on his shoulders the government would rest. So I started thinking, Prince of Peace. Why was Jesus called Prince of Peace? Because you can look at his life and know it was not very peaceful. I mean, he was persecuted, sought after, a lot of trials and tribulations that he had to endure, culminating in a crucifixion, for heaven's sake. Where is the peace in all of that? So as I thought about peace, this I know. Number one, I'm a peacenik. Okay? I abhor violence of any kind. I feel guilty if I step on a bug or swat a mosquito. I really do. I deal with it all the time, because I believe in oneness, one presence, one power, and mosquitoes have a purpose. I think it's to feed the hummingbirds, but first I must feed the mosquito. So there's peace in there somewhere, and I always seek it. I always seek it. It breaks my heart to see wars break out like we are experiencing now in our world. It just makes me so sad. How long is this going to go on? Century after century after century, we kill each other. Where is the sanity in this? So this I know. Peace starts with my own consciousness. So the peace of the Christmas season has to do with my own inner environment. I know most of us have heard the story of the war. I think it was World War I, when the two sides were fighting, and it was Christmas Eve, and one man started singing Silent Night, and then the Germans joined in, and for just a little bit there was a ceasefire and people were singing. That was a choice. That was a choice. Peace is as simple as choosing peace. To stop it. Just stop it. Those of you who are with me in studying The Eye of the Eye by Dr. David Hawkins knows that Dr. Hawkins always taught that peace was perfect knowing the presence of God. Peace even supersedes unconditional love, which we'll talk about next Sunday. But for now, peace is the ultimate. And what is peace? It's the cessation of judging. It's the cessation of desiring something other than what you have. It is perfect stillness and spiritual witnessing. Peace, be still, and know, that means to be one with. I am God. The true self of each one of us is this perfect peace. Is this perfect peace. So how do we get there, right? Well, one thing's for sure, you got to make peace with your past. And who among us doesn't have a past of something, somewhere, sometime that we either regret doing or we resent somebody for doing? Any number of things that when we land there, it doesn't feel good. It sure doesn't feel loving. Perfect peace. So Jesus said, I'll read exactly what he said. Well, we think exactly, exactly according to somebody. Oh, dear. Okay. Hmm. No, no, that's okay. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. No wonder. It's one of those mornings. Don't you just love it? Okay. Well, I had this marked. Okay. Okay, here we go. Don't imagine that I came to bring peace to the earth. I came not to bring peace, but a sword. Does that sound like Prince of Peace? I came to set a man against his father, daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Your enemies will be right in your own household. Ooh. This is where metaphysical interpretation really helps. It really, really helps. Because the Bible is the story of the evolution and unfolding of consciousness. So when Jesus taught, he taught on a spiritual level. He was teaching how to live spiritually, not in the outer world where I go to my mother and, you know, what is it we say in the South? Slap your mammy? No, you don't do that. You don't do that. What he's talking about is consciousness. Bringing up all of that hidden stuff that robs you of peace and robs me of peace. Thought against thought. I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Wish I hadda. That's thought. Thought. Competing thoughts. And then the other little voice is, but you did. And then now what? You know, who's going to win this one? War with myself, right? Who's going to win it? Daughter against mother. Emotions. My emotional self. These are all minefields, right? Minefields when we live in the past. When we look back on our past with any regrets, we have the tools to bring about perfect peace. And we know what they are. Self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness. And forgiveness of others. And the realization that it's all in my head. It's all in my head. Is it in your head? Because I tell myself, and it's true, the past doesn't exist anymore. It just doesn't exist anymore. Only up here do I relive, and when I relive with regret, that leads to react, and it takes away my freedom, and it takes away my peace. So the Christmas story is about the evolution of our consciousness, the planting of the seed, the growing of the awareness, and the birth that I am a spiritual being. And it's just a human experience I'm having in my head. This is the manger right here in my head. Peace is so important to me because I grew up in a household that was anything but peaceful. And I've shared this with you before. And I made the promise that I will never be aggressive or nasty or whatever when I grow up. And when we're kids, we promise ourselves all kinds of things and we don't really see the ramifications. So when I got older, I went into psychology because I had to find a way to live with the people I loved, to understand what motivated them. Peace, right? And it also led to an inability to speak my truth, to confront, to stand up for myself. I got over that. Took a while. It took a while, but I got over that. Peace at any price is not peace. It all has to do with living with your own experience and framing it for yourself in a way that doesn't rob you, that doesn't take away your faith and your hope, that lets you walk amongst all the discord and be at peace. Another verse of Isaiah, which is one of my favorite, it's a beautiful hymn. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. And that doesn't mean that I go around thinking, Jesus, 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 Jesus. You know, stayed on thee means get yourself centered. Be still and know. Use the tools that fortify what you know to be true so that you can have what you desire. Speaking of what you desire, I was watching Scrooged yesterday, the Bill Murray movie, and that little angel guy, you know, the snarly one, he was saying, do you know who you are? Do you know what you want? And do you know what's going on? 3 questions he asked him. And Bill Murray says, oh, I know who I am. And I know what I want. And I know what's going on. Good questions. Who are you? Who am I? I am spirit in expression. That I know. And what do I want? I want to be a clearer spirit in expression. A closer match, if you will. And do I know what's going on? What I'm experiencing is my own consciousness. That's it. That's it. Can I still have pain and regrets? Sure. But I don't live there. I acknowledge them. I do what I need to do in the outer. But it all starts in the inner with my awareness of myself as a spiritual being. I have a feeling there may be an addendum, but for now I'm done.